Judges chapter 13. The Israelites again did evil in the Lord's sight, so the Lord handed them over to the Philistines for 40 years. There was a man named Manoah from Zorah, from the Danite tribe. His wife was infertile and childless. The Lord's angelic messenger appeared to the woman and said to her, "You are infertile and childless, but you will conceive and have a son. Now be careful, do not drink wine or beer, and do not eat any food that will make you ritually unclean. Look, you will conceive and have a son. You must never cut his hair, for the child will be dedicated to God from birth. He will begin to deliver Israel from the power of the Philistines." The woman went and said to her husband, "A man sent from God came to me. He looked like God's angelic messenger. He was very awesome. I did not ask him where he came from, and he did not tell me his name. He said to me, 'Look, you will conceive and have a son. So now, do not drink wine or beer, and do not eat any food that will make you ritually unclean, for the child will be dedicated to God from birth till the day he dies.' Manoah prayed to the Lord, 'Please, Lord, allow the man sent from God to visit us again, so he can teach us how we should raise the child who will be born.' God answered Manoah's prayer. God's angelic messenger visited the woman again while she was sitting in the field, but her husband Manoah was not with her. The woman ran at once and told her husband, 'Come quickly, the man who visited me the other day has appeared to me.' So Manoah got up and followed his wife. When he met the man, he said to him, 'Are you the man who spoke to my wife?' He said, 'Yes.' Manoah said, 'Now, when your announcement comes true, how should the child be raised, and what should he do?' The Lord's messenger told Manoah, 'Your wife should pay attention to everything I told her. She should not drink anything that the grapevine produces. She must not drink wine or beer, and she must not eat any food that will make her ritually unclean. She should obey everything I commanded her to do.' Manoah said to the Lord's messenger, 'Please stay here a while, so we can prepare a young goat for you to eat.' The Lord's messenger said to Manoah, 'If I stay, I will not eat your food. But if you want to make a burnt offering to the Lord, you should offer it.' He said this because Manoah did not know that he was the Lord's messenger. Manoah said to the Lord's messenger, 'Tell us your name, so we can honor you when your announcement comes true.' The Lord's messenger said to him, 'You should not ask me my name, because you cannot comprehend it.' Manoah took a young goat and a grain offering and offered them on a rock to the Lord. The Lord's messenger did an amazing thing as Manoah and his wife watched. As the flame went up from the altar toward the sky, the Lord's messenger went up in it while Manoah and his wife watched. They fell face down to the ground. The Lord's messenger did not appear again to Manoah and his wife. After all this happened, Manoah realized that the visitor had been the Lord's messenger. Manoah said to his wife, 'We will certainly die, because we have seen a supernatural being.' But his wife said to him, 'If the Lord wanted to kill us, he would not have accepted the burnt offering and the grain offering from us. He would not have shown us all these things, or have spoken to us like this just now.' Manoah's wife gave birth to a son and named him Samson. The child grew, and the Lord empowered him. The Lord's Spirit began to control him in Mahanadan between Zorah and Eshtaol. Chapter 14. Samson went down to Timnah, where a Philistine girl caught his eye. When he got home, he told his father and mother, 'A Philistine girl in Timnah has caught my eye. Now get her for my wife.' But his father and mother said to him, 'Certainly you can find a wife among your relatives or among all our people. You should not have to go and get a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines.' But Samson said to his father, 'Get her for me, because she is the right one for me.' Now his father and mother did not realize this was the Lord's doing, because he was looking for an opportunity to stir up trouble with the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines were ruling Israel. Samson went down to Timnah. When he approached the vineyards of Timnah, he saw a roaring young lion attacking him. The Lord's Spirit empowered him, and he tore the lion in two with his bare hands, as easily as one would tear a young goat. But he did not tell his father or mother what he had done. Samson continued on down to Timnah and spoke to the girl. In his opinion, she was just the right one. Sometime later, when he went back to marry her, he turned aside to see the lion's remains. He saw a swarm of bees in the lion's carcass, as well as some honey. He scooped it up with his hands and ate it. As he walked along, when he returned to his father and mother, he offered them some, and they ate it. But he did not tell them he had scooped the honey out of the lion's carcass. Then Samson's father accompanied him to Timnah for the marriage. Samson hosted a party there, for this was customary for bridegrooms to do. When the Philistines saw he had no attendants, they gave him 30 groomsmen who kept him company. Samson said to them, "I will give you a riddle. If you really can solve it during the 7 days the party lasts, I will give you 30 linen robes and 30 sets of clothes. But if you cannot solve it, you will give me 30 linen robes and 30 sets of clothes." They say to him, "Let us hear your riddle." He said to them, "Out of the one who eats came something to eat. Out of the strong one came something sweet." They could not solve the riddle for 3 days. On the 4th day, they say to Samson's bride, "Trick your husband into giving the solution to the riddle. If you refuse, we will burn up you and your father's family. Did you invite us here to make us poor?" So Samson's bride cried on his shoulder and said, "You must hate me. You do not love me. You told the young men a riddle, but you have not told me the solution." He said to her, "Look, I have not even told my father or mother. Do you really expect me to tell you?" She cried on his shoulder until the party was almost over. Finally, on the 7th day, he told her, because she had nagged him so much. Then she told the young men the solution to the riddle. On the 7th day, before the sun set, the men of the city said to him, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" He said to them, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." The Lord's Spirit empowered him. He went down to Ashkelon and murdered 30 men. He took their clothes and gave them to the men who had solved the riddle. He was furious as he went back home. Samson's bride was then given to his best man. We're going to stop here today. Next time we're going to be starting from the book of Judges, chapter 15. I'll see you then.